This is mind-blowing to me.
Dicen que la historia se repite.
But they're wrong.
You're going nowhere!
Okay, why don't we take a photo?
Where he dove and did this.
We are one cheer.
I'm gonna probably break out one of these.
One crowd. One heartbeat.
If they just pass like this, that's too basic. You know, bring it here, okay, here.
Man, just watching this game is giving me chill.
It's all of us.
Together.
Together.
Juntos.
This is a World Cup. Give everything.
The greatest show there's ever been.
Copa Mundial de la FIFA.
2026. Together.
You're going to have the best time.
Juntos. Un torneo.
One world.
And just remember, it's football, not soccer.
Well, it was in 2010 when Bafana Bafana last graced the global stage, and now it is 15 days to go to the FIFA World Cup for 2026. Well, greetings and welcome. The name is Lerato Pajo, and today it is the biggest day because Coach Hugo Broos will trim down a squad of 32 players that he named in his preliminary squad down to the final 26 players that will go on and represent South Africa at this global showpiece. It is all happening right here on your World of Champions as we are inching closer to that announcement. Join us as we will be building up to that particular event happening out in the Union buildings. And of course, very important, it is all happening in the nation's capital. Very important to note that on the 30th of January 2026, it was the World Cup trophy that graced our shores, and this is what transpired.
Today is a truly special day. We are at the Union Buildings here in Pretoria for what is a massive occasion. The World Cup trophy will be in South Africa. It actually has arrived from Rwanda. This is the South African leg of the Africa tour for the FIFA World Cup trophy, and it's brought to you by Coca-Cola. So looking forward to a special day. We'll be seeing the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, Gaten McKenzie, handing over that trophy to the President, Cyril Ramaphosa. And of course, we also have a lot of special guests, not only the media, but also one in particular being Marcel Desailly, the 1998 World Cup champion with France. And of course, in South Africa, we love our English football. So if you do follow the game, you'll no doubt know him from his time at Chelsea as well. So looking forward to that. Of course, Bafana Bafana playing that opening game at the FIFA World Cup. That is against Mexico, a repeat of the 2010 opening game. It is going to be fascinating to see how the teams will be shaping up there. And I mentioned that specifically because we also have some SAFA members that will be out here today, led by Dr. Danny Jordana and the CEO, Lydia Monyepao. And of course, some of the coaches are out here, and we're hoping to see the skipper, that is Ron Williams as well, who will be leading South Africa come that World Cup. It is going to be a truly special day. It's nice and warm here in Pretoria, but settle in, we're going to enjoy the ride.
It's every kid's dream, not just to watch the World Cup, but to see the trophy and to see it live. I think it's an amazing experience for anybody.
We want to say thank you to the leadership of Coca-Cola. When I asked Coca-Cola about the involvement in the World Cup, they said their job is to excite the fans.
I'm rather glad that we brought the cup here at the Union Buildings. So what we have done is to unveil it and touch it, and it feels very good. It's got a nice touch and feel to it. and we are going to lend it out, but it's going to come back.
When I got close to it, I got goosebumps, you know. Even Coach Hellman was showing me on his arms, you know, the goosebumps. Just shows what it means to us, you know. As a young boy, you dreamt about this. That's why you sacrifice and work hard, and, you know, now it's finally it's just sinking in now.
It is a live visuals from the Sefako Makhato Presidential Guest House in the Union Buildings complex. Tonight, the President of the Republic of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, is hosting a send-off dinner for Bafana Bafana under the theme United by Hope, Driven by Pride. In attendance will be the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Minister Gayton Mackenzie. We'll also have the South African Football Association President, Dr. Denny Odan, members of the technical team, players, and of course, invited guests. We will make sure that, of course, you enjoy all the action, everything as it unfolds in the nation's capital. With me in studio, I'm joined by a stellar panel. We have to go back and dig back into the memory box because if you can recall, 2010, we were hosting the FIFA World Cup. First time on African soil. Bongani Khumalo, former Bafana Bafana international, scored in that World Cup. And of course, not usual because he is a defender, but man, that's just something about the World Cup. Also joined by one of the sharpest minds when it comes to continental football, Thomas Kwenaide. I'll start with you, Bongs. 32 players today attended a special event, going out to, of course, just enjoy the moment. They were at the Rosebank offices for Standard Bank. What is the emotion like at this moment for all the 32 players in that preliminary squad?
Sure. I mean, with this announcement, obviously they've made it quite the spectacle. I think with us, it was as simple as, sort of being in camp and, basically having been called and conversations were had with guys that weren't in the squad. So my question would be, I know there's a dinner, but I wonder if there was a personal conversation we would have had before with players that aren't necessarily in the final squad. But it is such an incredible showpiece, and we all as players dream to be at the epitome of football, world football that is. So a chance to be a part of history. We know that the World Cup, you make a mistake, you make a mistake, it lasts forever. But on the other side, if you do well, it can change the trajectory of your career, completely, and you can really, really, really change your life. And if you have a moment of brilliance, well, it lasts for decades and decades, as we've seen with Shaba.
Certainly, and it is all about the players that will be able to perform on the global stage. TK, for a lot of these players, in fact, for all of them, this will be their first time appearing at the FIFA World Cup. This is a massive achievement for the players that will be selected.
Yeah, absolutely. You're quite right. I think Bongani is right that the emotions that are going through the players there at this stage, you kind of ask yourself, am I going to make the cut or not? But personally, I think they should be proud of what they've achieved. Out of a country of 60 million people, they are the 32 best players that have been selected to represent the country at the biggest showpiece in the world. So making that 32 cut is an achievement on its own. So personally, I would be happy if those that don't make it are put on standby.
But putting so many players on standby, Pongs, it's maybe roughly around 4, just in case of emergency. You can't have more than that.
But it's tricky. I mean, what does standby look like? Because obviously we have an off season. Does that mean standby, I sit at home, I train, or do I go on holiday and prepare for the next season? So it's very tricky in terms of, how to navigate that as a professional player. But I would imagine there's always injuries, when these showpieces do come about. So it is important that there are a couple of guys that are just, it's just a little bit of a whisper to just remain ready.
The big headache will certainly be in that goalkeeping department. For you, TK, 4 names that made it to the preliminary squad: Ronwen Williams, Ricardo Goss, Sipho Chaine, and Brandon Peterson.
Yeah, look, they are all fantastic goalkeepers, and they've been selected simply because of what they bring to the table. And I think one player that for me might be dropped among the 4. It is a toss-up between Ricardo Goss and Sipho Chaine.
Who? Sipho Chaine?
Yeah.
With the most clean sheets domestically for his team, Orlando Pirates. 21 clean sheets.
I hear you. That is why I say between Sipho Chain and Ricardo Goss, I have a feeling one of them might be dropped. I might be wrong, but that's the feeling I have.
We'll find out in the next couple of minutes. Bonds, what's your stance?
It's an interesting one. So if you look at numbers in terms of clean sheets, obviously Sipho's got the most. You know, the last one on that list with 13 is actually Ronwin, as it were. But then you're dealing obviously with the captain and B, a player that comes from the biggest game football club fixture, I believe, in Africa, where the man has pulled out a save in the biggest, most hostile environment. So mentally, there's no question mark in terms of handling the pressures and expectation. So that's where numbers become not so relevant, especially in the goalkeeping department, where it's more about presence, more about dominance, more about surety and the confidence that you give your team.
Can I add just something in the fireworks? Because when you look at Portugal, they chose 4 goalkeepers. Do you think Coach Hugo Broos can be that bold and choose all 4 of them?
It is possible, because I remember in 1998 when South Africa qualified for the first World Cup, I think they chose 3 goalkeepers, and John Tlalo got injured, and then they had to call another goalkeeper from South Africa. I think it was Simon Khopane, and another goalkeeper got injured. So I think it is possible. There is that possibility that he might, look, they've all done fantastically well. And even if he takes all 4 of them, I think it won't be any surprise at all to most of us. I think all of them deserve to go.
And now we focus on the defenders that Coach Hugo Broos chose for his preliminary squad. It was quite a heavy list. You have the likes of Bradley Cross in there, Samkelo Kabini, Olwethu Makhanya playing overseas. Which names stand out for you, Bongs?
Look, obviously locally, you know, we're exposed to the guys that play locally, and obviously the guys that play overseas, and that there's always a little bit of just South African fans aren't just familiar with what they're doing on that side of the ocean. So obviously if one of those players are included and you haven't seen much of them, you can question mark surprises, but there are a lot of sort of fan favorites within that list. And I think we all know in terms of the first 4 that will be selected. And obviously in Mbogazi, CBC, if you look at leadership, perhaps that's how he makes it to this preliminary squad as well. He's won the league for Pirates as well, so there's a lot of confidence in there. It's really difficult to pick favorites. I think it also, as always, it will boil down to sort of the style that the coach will want to play. Ima Ocon has done well to make a preliminary squad. However, I believe, you know, a young player just made a move abroad. He's had his fair share of games. Hasn't started as many as what he's appeared in, but he's had a healthy amount of appearance over 20 games. So still learning his trade. Perhaps might be a little bit too early this World Cup for him.
And this is very important because you don't want to tamper with the centre-back pairing because they form part of that spine.
They do, and that's a difficult one because you need solid players that can kind of shield the goalkeeper. And for me, I think Mbegezeli Mbogazi has proved to be one of the most outstanding young defenders we've ever produced in this country. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's a starter, you know. So it would be a toss-up between Mbogazi and Ocon in the center of defense. It could be. But that is something that gives you pleasure when you look at the players that are there, that any one of them can really make it, you know, and it gives the coach a very beautiful headache because whoever he selects here, and remember, modern football has evolved in such a way that when you have the core team, you also need to have reserves that will be able to complement those that are playing. If you have Mudau as a right back, then you need to have somebody, if something happens to Mudau, you need to have somebody who will come in and not affect the team at all. So those guys, I think, all of them really deserve to go as well.
And now for their creativity, but also just to bring balance to the team, we focus on the midfielders, and that is where you find the likes of Jaden Adams, Tebogo Mokoena. That is where Coach Hugo Broos will have to make a very tough decision with regards to who he chooses to be in that midfield box.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's always good to have sort of variety. You know, I think Mokoena is one of the best midfielders we've had in a long, long time. if you look at what he does, you know, back to front, box to box, such power, determination, attitude, all the right attributes. And the question is, you know, who necessarily complements him within the system that Hugo Broos will adopt. Mbata's got great legs on him. Adams, a beautiful brain, wonderful football brain. You know, Pools had a really good season with Durban City. Also has the legs and the size as well to boot, to cover the ground. You know, Themba Zwane, I mean, he's a legend of the game locally, certainly what he's achieved and what he's been doing for many, many years. So it becomes really difficult. You know, I'm not trying to have conversations of who should be in, who shouldn't be out. It's just attributes that the coach has at his disposal, and it's just up to him as to what combinations work for him.
And now for the front line, the attackers, the players that will be trusted to get the goals for Bafana Bafana. And we've seen with Coach Hugo Broos, he usually chooses the players that he's tried and tested. The likes of Lyle Foster, the likes of Evidence Makgopa, Ikram Reyners.
Yeah. I think Ikram Reyners deserves to go. I really do, because he's proved time and time again that he is one of those snipers that you can rely on, you know. And if you look at the number of, Bongani talked about, you know, stats and numbers for that matter, and Reyners has got the numbers. Every time you put him in, he delivers, you know. It's a pity that the last couple of games for Mamelodi Sundowns, he just didn't crack it a little bit, but he's somebody that you can rely on.
Thapelo Maseko in the Kamogelo Sibilibili amongst the players that, of course, were chosen in the preliminary squad. And of course, there's a lot to dissect with regards to what just might transpire in the next couple of minutes, as of course we wait with great anticipation for the final squad that will be announced by Coach Hugo Broos. And of course, we're standing by with live visuals from the nation's capital, because this is where a lot of dreams will become a reality for the players that will be, of course, chosen to head to the World Cup. Don't go anywhere. When we come back, we inch closer to the announcement.
Too quick for you today.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Enjoy.
Is it my lucky day or something?
Just might be.
Bring winter home and win with ASAP.
Imagine a world where you have full control of every bet, where there is always something to bet on, where your favorite game is always just one click away, where just one click could change it all, where you are rewarded every time you visit, where everyone's a VIP. Imagine the all-new World Sports Betting, a world of gaming in your pocket. World Sports Betting. Bet with the best.
The new Honor 600 series. AI image to video 2.0. More AI creativity, less marine litter. Moving photo breakout collage.
Yo, that was way too extra. But with 2 extra hot wings, the Soul Man load up is just enough extra.
live visuals from the nation's capital as, of course, we wait with great anticipation for the final 26-man squad that will be announced in terms of the players that will represent South Africa at the FIFA World Cup for 2026. And of course, for a lot of the players right now, it's all about nerves, but this could be a defining moment in their careers and of course in their lives. So we wait for that major announcement, and of course the coach Hugo Broos will be able to take us through the players that he has selected ahead of the start of the FIFA World Cup. I'm still joined by Bongani Khumalo and Thomas Kwenaite. Bongs, these players, they played some grueling matches in order to qualify for the World Cup, and they came out tops every time they were called upon.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's fantastic stuff. I mean, it's been a long time since we obviously qualified for the tournament and made it. So I think what they've done as a group of players is really, really commendable. They've gone to difficult places and gotten results, you know, under adversity, you know, otherwise self-inflicted and otherwise not. So they really have gone through it to earn their right to be part of this World Cup. So in terms of mental strength and ability, I think that does not come into question. The only question is obviously who will be the starting 11 on the 11th of June, and you know, how will the game play out? What's the tactics and how players will perform at that stage of football? It's been a long season. You know, a lot of these players have had a lot of football, a lot of pressure situations, and I think the World Cup just provides a cherry on top to just show, you know, what exactly you've been doing, the amount of work you've been putting in, the sacrifices you've basically had to, you know, had to sort of pay the price for in order to be in this position.
They faced familiar foes in the World Cup qualifiers, going up against Nigeria. That's never an easy task, and of course they were able to just keep them at bay.
Yeah, they did. I think Nigeria were one of those countries that really gave us a real hiding when we came out of isolation back in 1992 into international football. They give us a 4-0 beating, and I think the rivalry between South Africa and Nigeria developed from there. And after that, South Africa never wants to lose to Nigeria. The same about Nigeria. They just don't want, they hate losing to Nigeria. But for the first time in many years, South Africa went to Nigeria and they got a result. And I think that rattled Nigeria a little bit, and I don't think they recovered after that. So when they came here, South Africa scored first. I give them credit, Nigeria. They came back to equalize, but it was like shutting the door after the horse has bolted. So it was just, South Africa had a firm grip on the group, and they were never going to let go.
And especially they made sure that their home games, they won. You look at this game up against Rwanda, this is the game they needed to assert their dominance, Bongs.
Definitely, and obviously being the home side, you can see how many bodies have piled to make life difficult, but you know, a little bit of individual brilliance, and that's the variety in terms of selection. You know, he's done really, really well. You know, obviously for Pirates and Bata as well. I mentioned how he's got good legs, but that right foot, I mean, sees the goal from miles away and he's able to hit the target. That is a big plus.
You look at the way they're combining the likes of Oswin Apollos, Evidence Makgopa. This is the firepower that's needed for Bafana Bafana.
Absolutely, I agree with you. And it, you know, your Relebohile Mofokeng, Oswin Apollos, you know, there's a certain versatility that they bring to the team. You can play them in different wings, and I think this is what has been good for Bafana Bafana, because you can deploy them at different positions and they deliver. Tapelo Morena, you deploy him as a fullback, he will deliver. And this is the difference you've been asking about in terms of what is different about this current Bafana Bafana squad. And all of them, I think, there is something special about these boys. There is that fight. They never seem to let go once a game has started. And it's the beauty about this. You kind of have a feeling when you watch them play that they can deliver, no
Would
matter
I be
the
wrong
opposition.
if I say maybe that is tactical maturity? Since Coach Hugo Broos took over this team 5 years ago, there is a certain vigor in the way that they play, the way that they come to games.
Quite true. I agree with you. And that is why he's also sticking to the group of players he has selected. Yes, there have been calls to bring in certain players that he has left out, but he has a lot of confidence in this particular group. And this group has also come to know him as a coach, and they they kind of have a rapport between the two of them. They know what to expect from him, and he knows what to expect from his players. And this unity and this friendship, this father figure, and the way he has brought this unity and spirit within the team, I think this is what is bringing them results.
When you look at that Group A, and of course it's going to be quite difficult with regards to how Bafana Bafana play. We look at some of their fixtures as well that they played for the World Cup qualifiers. Again, when you're up against teams like Lesotho, we've talked about asserting your dominance. This is where the coach has a bit of freedom in terms of squad selection, squad rotation, where you can really see what you have in the team.
Yeah, I mean, look, these fixtures on paper, it might look like an obvious result, but, you know, on the field, anything can happen, and they really do put up resistance and can make life difficult, especially if you don't get onto the score sheet early enough. I mean, you could see an hour in, we're only 1-0 up. If that's 0-0 an hour in, it causes so much anxiety because the expectation is it should be a walkover, and that thing doesn't exist in international football. So, you know, credit to the guys, you know, certainly mentally. I think what they've done, this group, is just mentally, they've always been switched on regardless of the fixture. They've always turned up, and that is commendable.
And TK is right. There's a certain sense, a certain feeling every time you see them play. They might be trailing, but there is that feeling that they will turn this game around. They will find the answers to the questions that are being asked.
Absolutely. I think I've seen it happen time and time again, even when, you know, they come up against so-called big teams. You know, that you have Mshishi, who kind of has a way of rallying the troops. You have, Bongs was talking about Teboho Mokoena. Teboho has matured in such a way that he seems to carry the whole team on his shoulders. And when he goes forwards, he has the ability to drive them. When Ashwin Apolis has the ball, you kind of get excited. You get a feeling that something unexpected can happen anytime. Relay Mofokeng, yes, he is a little bit on the fragile side, but he can deliver. You know, on numerous occasions he has delivered. So this is a group that, I don't know what, even the guys who are sitting on the bench, watch when Bafana Bafana scores. All of them just get off the bench, they go there, they celebrate with the goal scorer, and it just shows you the unity that exists between these boys.
It's the camaraderie.
Absolutely.
That you spoke about.
Exactly.
Bafana Bafana. Bongs, that emotion, that feeling, knowing that you're going to be playing with people that you've gone up against domestically, but now you have to come together and, of course, represent the country as we get live visuals from the Union buildings. And, of course, in a moment, we will be going straight there. Coach Hugo Broos is sitting with the President of the Republic of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, and, of course, the Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Mr. Gayton Mackenzie, and, of course, Dr. Denny Odan, the President of the South African Football Association. Today, Bongs, it's an important day.
It is. I mean, it's a special day. Sheesh, the anxiety of just waiting for your name. I mean, that is something difficult to live through. But it becomes better when you hear your name. But again, I reiterate. I think at this point, surely, the coach should have had a private word with the guys that aren't necessarily, going to be traveling. But for the guys whose names will be called up, I mean, it's a chance to dream.
It's a chance to dream.
Yeah, Lira, there's something just I want to add. Bongs talked about how football can change your life forever. And, I mean, for a simple boy like Ashwin Apolis, for instance, I'm just picking him as an example, to be in the same room with the state president. It doesn't happen to anybody. What a privilege it is for our boys to find themselves sitting with the Minister of Sport, sitting with the state president in the same room, sharing dinner with him. I mean, dreams do come true, exactly. Bongs is right.
And for some, they're about to find out about their future. We head straight to the Sefako Makhato Presidential Guest House at the Union Building Complex, of course, to get all the latest with regards to the Bafana Bafana squad announcement.
Hey!
wish Bafana very well, and we can't wait for the announcement of the actual team.
The players that are going to be announced, I wish them all the best. To the ones that are not, it's not the end of the day. There's other opportunities that come along. Coach can only select so many players to coach Hugo, his technical team, and the players, of course. I want to wish you all the best.
Well, it's been a long time, but I think that we have hope for this team for two reasons. One, we are now, in terms of club football, we are the African champions.
You know we love this country. You know, Coach Hugo, please make us proud and may the best team win.
Now that we are here, we have to be grateful and also give credit to all parties involved. Of course, our national association in SAFA. I think they've done a sterling job in getting the national team here.
To say and commit as the South African Youth Economic Council that if Bafana Bafana make it out of the group stages, we will be sponsoring 2 young people across the breadth of South Africa to travel to America to watch them in the round of 16.
Be practical, and we've got to fight for it and come back, and so the country's going to be proud of the players when they come back.
We hope that they'll continue to inspire young people across the country to see sports as a vehicle to transformation and as a vehicle to economic development as well.
We are ready. Also,
yeah.
Congratulations on you, man. So you must congratulate me.
Congratulations. I'm very much ready.
The results is what we're looking for.
I think we can do very well the way we play and the determination of the players. And the coach, of course, he's very aware about who to use and how.
SABC, the official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup 2026.
Riperile Africa Zonga, Sanwanani Dumelang Molweni, all of us, all in Kaufela as we build up to the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, this is a very exciting moment for South Africa because it is from the dusty streets to packed stadiums. It's from heartbreak to glory. Now, tonight is more than just a squad announcement. It's about unveiling the 26 players that will don the green and gold of South Africa with pride. They will hold the hope of many millions in their hands, the pride of the flag, and of course, the spirit of a soccer-loving nation. And as you can see, Anghambi Ngedwa, always joined by the ever so handsome, I don't know how he's still unmarried, Andile Ngube.
Ladies and gentlemen, what a time. This is it. This is the moment that South Africa's been waiting for. From '92, that very first game against Cameroon. Dreams were built. Boys that weren't even born yet. Girls that never knew they'd kick a soccer ball. The dream was made for them on that day in July of 1992. And now we sit here very much in the spirit of our people. We've risen from a point where people thought we would not make it, and we've made it to the top of football. Tonight, 26 are announced. They go to the World Cup. They carry my hopes. They carry your dreams. Welcome to it. This is the SABC Sport. Sienza sisonke lento. Sibaningi. Siamba nabo Bafana.
And of course, SABC Sport, the official broadcaster of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Now, Andile, before you and I get carried away, because I can see we're very happy tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's allow ourselves to honor those that are in our presence here tonight. The Honorable President of the Republic of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa. Alongside him, I didn't even know he could play golf until a couple of months ago, is the Minister of the Department of Sport, Arts and Culture. It's Minister Gayton McKenzie. We also acknowledge all the other ministers, deputy ministers as well in our presence here tonight. We honor our Premier as well. And the man of the moment, I say this all the time, one of my favorite people in the world, the coach of Bafana Bafana, Coach Hugo Broos, and of course representatives from the South African Football Association.
the chairperson of the South African Football Association as well, members of the media, our esteemed guests, welcome to a night like no other.
Well, it's going to be an exciting one. I see the Deputy Minister looking and saying, yeah, but say Ning Bafana Bafana. It's exactly what it's going to be. We're going to be having a lot of fun here tonight. But for 26 young men, this is the moment they've been waiting for their entire lives. So we're going to get on with the program. Coach Hugo Broos will be on that podium, will name that team. And here, history will be made. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, please allow us to allow an opening from our host this evening as part of the larger delegation of government, the Minister of Arts, Sports and Culture, Minister Gayton McKenzie.
AKA Minister Ons Baizani, also known as the Minister of Monadi and Happiness.
All protocol has been observed. His Excellency President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa and all of us present here today. Let me start with the most important business of the day. I would like to wish Orlando Pirates and congratulate them. Amabakania. Pirates have taken the league to all the... It's so easy, President, when you say this thing to see who's chiefs here. They go like, just get to the names. We are here for the national squad. What you doing? And I want to say it out here. You know, President, I was in trouble a week ago when I saw the chairperson of TX Galaxy here. The PSL said he should represent the PSL today. And TX Galaxy was playing against one of my favorite teams, Mamelodi Sundowns. And I made a comment after they won 3-2. I said, the sun is going down. And the Sundowns supporters were very angry with me. And I want to say today that Sundowns is officially the biggest team on the African continent. Kabuyeno! And I know the spokesperson, Vincent, always will show me time or with, but I think he will forgive me if I just can just quickly put in Arsenal also there and say congratulations. Congratulations to Arsenal. Tonight, we as South Africans, tonight is a night where we show the world who we really are. We show the world our best. We show the world that we have problems as a country like any other country. But we rise above our problems. We are the greatest nation on earth. We are a happy nation. We are a nation that the whole world talk about. We box way above our weight sometimes, but we're still a great nation. And I want to welcome the police, everybody that's here, and say that to the players, if you are not chosen tonight, don't feel bad. I'm also not chosen tonight. But you've come this far. I was not even considered. I went, President, to AFCON, and there was a mix-up. The person said, I work in the office of the Minister of Sport, Arts and Culture, and they let the person through. And they said, and he called me, they said, I'm the minister, I'm through. I said, no, enjoy. When I came, I said, I'm the minister. They said, no. You are not the minister. The minister's inside. I said, no. They said, no, go out. So this guy becomes so aggressive. And then President Denny Jordan came past. And he says, what's happening here? And he says, Minister, are you okay? I said, no, it's fine. I'll meet you inside. He says, no, I'm not leaving here. The guy says, is he a minister? Then he says, yes. He's like, so you don't pay your ministers in South Africa? So I was like, I'm wearing a very expensive suit. What is this guy talking about? He's like, can't he buy a tease with the salary of the minister? And I've never said thank you to Dr. Jordan for getting me in the stadium. Tonight I want to say thank you. And just before we start, I know everybody is excited, everybody wants to hear. I just want to do a small thing, President, We've got some good news. We're a country of good news. We have the Deputy Minister. But please join me quickly to share the good news so that the country can hear what good news we have. Well, the good news is not that I'm going to play, but can we give the Deputy Minister a hand of applause? You want to say hello to the people, Deputy Minister, please, Mabe?
The minister will always surprise you. I don't know what are we promising now. I would not lie, especially in front of the president.
What we've done is that, and I'll ask the four gentlemen to stand up as I mention them, because they're our partners in this good news. Can I ask Lawrence of Bedway to stand up? Can I ask Old School to stand up? Salsi to stand up, and Honor. Can Honor also stand up? President, I just need the country to know there's very patriotic South African companies. And everybody in this room is very, see Boris of SAB, people are really patriotic. And what happened in this case, we had lucky fans that we are sending overseas. And we've chosen 18 lucky fans from each team. And these gentlemen that are standing said their hearts broke when they saw they're only going to watch the Mexico game. And they said we must rerun the competition, and the next round of 18 supporters are going to Monterrey. So can we give them a great hand of applause? Thank you. And now you see the good news is that peace, there was actually 19, you were the 19th one. I'm scratching you now because you are denying me here. The competition will open tomorrow so that we can go and support our Bafana team when they play there. And I've made a promise which the president will talk about. It's a career-ending promise, Coach Hugo Broos. But I'm not going to talk about it because I've been drinking sugar water since I've made that promise. But the president will talk about that promise that I made. And it's the second time that Peace denied me. She said, President, I'm not part of that promise. It is the minister. But not wasting any time, I want to say, everybody, you are welcome to Andile and them. You guys look, we will find you a wife, Andile, there in Monterrey. But thank you very much, and you are all welcome. Thank you so much, Deputy Minister. Salute, salute, salute. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Minister. We'll be back after this ad break from the National Mposhwa, as it's come out to be now. We'll see you, Masas Buyangalena. Remember that the brand new Honor 600 series is now available at all retailers from only 549 Rand for 36 months. Get yours now.
The World Cup does not arrive the same for all of us. For some, it begins in a lounge. For some, in the voice on the radio. For others, in the crowd before the crowd.
What's he saying? It's a really good ball.
When the moment comes, it finds all of us. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is here.
It's Shabalala! Goal! Bafana Bafana!
And SABC is your home for every moment that brings us together. At home, on the move, or wherever you are, don't miss a second. All of us, all in Kaufela. Watch the FIFA World Cup 2026 matches live on SABC3, stream on SABC Plus, and stay connected on SABC radio stations nationwide. SABC Sport, for the love of the game.
Mtungu, sengithola imbali. Ngicela ungiphelezele siyoyilala.
Auto engine or car insurance, emergency assist line.
Hi. Yes, my car broke down. Hey, it's Ninja. Auto in General was there when I needed them most. When suddenly happens, who's there for you?
Sip, save and pour extra at Checkers Liquor Shop with deals like Heineken Premium Silver, original or non-alcoholic beer, a 330ml 6-pack, any two for 180 Rand, and Jameson Triple Distilled Irish Whiskey for $349.99. Raise a glass to extra value, only at Checkers Liquor Shop.
we are ready for kickoff for the FIFA World Cup 2026. It all starts on the 11th of June, culminating on the 19th of July. All 104 matches live and in the splendor of high definition on your World of Champions. And of course, we're going to have a comprehensive build-up and of course magazine shows, everything that we can offer with regards to this particular World Cup. So everyone, of course, is excited. Bafana Bafana qualifying, making their 4th appearance at the FIFA World Cup. So everyone is really feeling this one because of everybody wants to know how well they will go out and do. It is Bafana Bafana Kaufela. We wish them all the best of luck. But of course, today, all the main attraction and of course, the main focus is that final 26-man squad that Coach Hugo Broos will have to announce in a couple of minutes. Of course, those are the players that will go out and represent South Africa at the global showpiece. And with that said, in a moment, we're going to go back to the nation's capital as they continue with the proceedings of course, getting down to the squad announcement. It's all about the players that have, of course, done all that they could throughout the different teams that they played for, but also just ensuring that the team does qualify for the FIFA World Cup. And with that said, in just a moment, we head back to the nation's capital as they will be getting ready, of course, to take us through. I'm still joined by Bongs and TK. It is now setting in, the big occasion, Bongs, for these players.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you know, obviously the preparation, this is quite different because obviously preparation is just, the season just ended last week. So in terms of fitness, I mean, that's without a question, that's there. It's obviously just now, you know, just waiting for that confirmation, knowing you're jumping on the plane and knowing that you just have endless possibilities in terms of what you can do, you know, for yourself, not in a selfish way, but for yourself, because even within a team, you still need to be a really good individual. And that's how the team gets better as well. So for yourself, for the team, for the country, what can you contribute and where's your level? That's what those players are about to find out. Well, the ones that jump on the plane, that is.
I hear you, Bongs, but what I want to know is, we're counting days only for the team to depart. Now, they have a friendly game against Nicaragua, I think, at the Amstel Arena on Friday. What happens as a player that is in the final squad? Do you go full out or do you pull out for fear that you might get injured? What happens? What goes through your mind?
It's a good question because, I mean, the last thing that you need is obviously something to happen. But it's important that you respect football and you do it properly.
Okay, and of course we will get back to that conversation with the Bongs as we go back to the nation's capital for the announcement.
nje kumabonakude kodwa ke nakuradio ngolwimi lakho othandayo ulwimi lakamama uzobe usizwa ke sikhuluma ngayo ke iFIFA World Cup is your official broadcaster. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you a story. Dr. Dennis Jordan.
Your stories. Is this your... This
no,
is
no,
your
no, listen, listen.
Okay.
5 years ago, Dr. Dennis Jordan is under pressure to pick the next coach, alongside with Safa, of course, to pick the next coach. There's names that are being heralded out everywhere, right?
Yes.
There's coaches from South Africa who've done well. There's coaches from all over the world. Dr. Jordan goes and gets a man that has done it before on the continent. But geez, he doesn't tell us. He says it as it is, and he doesn't mince his words.
Shoes from the hip all the time.
Shoes from the hip comes Hugo Broos, the coach of Bafana Bafana. He's given us some amazing moments over the last 5 years. Which has been your favorite?
For me, I think it was when he said if he doesn't qualify, we must kill him. Because
did?
I don't want us to kill
He
him.
did.
I don't want us to kill him. And he qualified and we didn't
have to kill him.
Yeah.
But also, he was wise in teaching us because he picked players and then didn't pick players. Then he came back to say what became a famous Hugo Broos quote. Hey, a wise man always goes back when he's made a mistake. Well, from then on, we all rallied behind him. He took us to heights that we hadn't seen in many years. And today, we sit here with the man the boys call Umadala, Coach Hugo Broos. Have a look at this. Then when we come back, he'll be joining us for a chat.
It was very difficult to have people in the stadium for us. And I always said, the results will change, and that's the only thing.
Hugo Broos told us to our faces that at the moment, we weren't worth the shirt and the names on our back.
When we got Coach Hugo, and we could see from day one that this is going to be a successful period. The guys that were there could see it, we could sense it, we could see there's a coach who believes in us.
Ago, 4 years ago, when it comes to Bafana Bafana, the energy wasn't what it is now.
What a time to be alive in South African football when we as fans can go out and sell out every single stadium that the boys have to turn out in.
Hope is back, baby. Hope is back.
Because I couldn't understand why South Africa, with all the facilities there are here, why South Africa was sometimes 1 or 2 Afghans not there.
You said, I believe in your country, in the players. If I didn't, I wouldn't have taken the job.
I said it already many times to the players. We are not 11, we are 23.
There's the culture that he has created that even if you are not in the starting 11, you're still an important member of the team.
Now I can watch Bafana Bafana with my kids and say, this is the team I was telling you about.
Everybody forgets the club. We are now in Bafana Bafana.
Root block to go. That comes back to Talented Bata. Does he pull the trigger? He decides to into the net. Talented Bata. Oh, the dream is alive. The dream is very, very much alive.
The first goal of Bafana Bafana 2010.
It's on here now. The goalkeeper's beaten, and South Africa have their first goal. Sipiwe Shabalala.
As a soccer player, I wish maybe one of the good days I can be there also.
Each and every player's dream is to play in the World Cup.
And it's their moment to write their own history. They have what it takes to perform at the highest level.
Morena resettles in the pass. Oh, it's brilliant! It's absolutely brilliant! Oswin Apollos.
Kubi Bafana Bafana soloko oko yayikhokela phambili sesithi indlela imhlophe eya kwi-FIFA World Cup. Kodwa baqhubeka endleleni kwafuneka aqale phansi.
But Hugo Broos, you might have been wrong about a couple of things, but you were right for this Bafana Bafana.
Do you still remember what I said on my first press conference as a coach? I said, look, those qualifiers for World Cup are maybe a little bit too soon because I have to build a team. But then the next qualifier for AFCON, we need to be there. And then we have to try to be always there. And if I can't succeed, you can kill me.
And that's when I knew that anybody that's willing to take on a job and still speak the truth the way he did would be special.
You never stop believing from the first game. Okay. We love you for that. We will work for you.
First of all, as you know, this is my last job. For my CV, it should be very nice to have a World Cup as a player and to end my career in a World Cup as a coach.
Are we going to America? Yeah! Are we going to America? Are we going to America?
Oh man, come on, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to carry on in the same
Go
spirit.
Hugo!
Go Hugo!
Go Hugo! Go Hugo! Go
Come on!
Hugo! Go Hugo!
Ladies and gentlemen, the coach of the national team of South Africa, Bafana Bafana, Coach Hugo Broos. Coach, thank you so much for honoring us and joining us. I looked back at that, thought back at our very first chats when he got here, thought back at every press conference. What a ride.
Yes, well, right, certainly, because the first year it was very difficult for me. I knew what I was planning to do, but it was very difficult to other people to understand what I was doing. So it was, a heavy year. And I have to be honest, and I said it already in the past, after my first year, I was thinking of resigning. But yeah, football is my passion. I was 19 when I signed my first contract as a professional player. I'm now 74. I wanted to be 47. So I'm 74 now, so since 19 years old, I was in football. So it's very difficult to say, I stop. This is, so I went back and don't ask me why, suddenly everything went well.
You have the resilience of a South African, because we never say die. Yeah. When it gets hard, we carry on. Yeah. So that's why this country and you.
Yeah, but that's a thing that motivates me when things are going going difficult and hard. That motivates me to succeed. And okay, I think I can say that we succeeded. We really
Absolutely. Absolutely succeeded. Coach, just a quick one from you. When we were watching that clip back, there's a moment there with you and Ricardo Goss, and he just saying, we will fight for you. Talk to me about just that spirit within this Bafana Bafana team, because we're seeing so much unity. We're seeing the players literally wanting to die on the field of play to make you happy and for the dreams of the nation as well.
I think it's very important as a coach to tell the players what you want. And to have a plan. When you can do that and you follow the plan, the players feel that you have confidence in that, and automatically they follow you. Secondly, since I was here, I was looking for younger players, talented younger players, because those are players who are hungry. They want to perform, they want to prove how good they are. And still, because an older player is difficult to change, a younger player you can change. And that process, I think, gave us all those results of the past years.
Well, Coach, listen, we don't have the pressure that you have this evening. All of us here are a lot more relaxed than you. You've got the big duty of announcing the 26-man squad. How hard was that?
Well, there were some hard decisions to make. And it is always when you make a list of players, you have always to disappoint players. And I know the disappointment for those players who had to drop tonight will be very, very, very hard. So it's a World Cup. Who don't want to go to the World Cup? So I know, and I was myself a player, I know how they will feel after I announced the 26 players. But that is also part of the job. And again, I was sitting with Helman in the past, my assistant Helman Makelele. I was sitting in our office the past weeks, and yeah, we are this one. Oh yeah, but if we take this one, you have to drop this one. So there are some very difficult decisions, but yeah, that is also part of my job to do it, and I hope I choose the right ones.
Well, we all hope so, Coach.
Absolutely.
There is no wrong ones, though. I can tell you that. With this group of boys, there is no wrong one. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Coach Hugo Broos will be giving us the squad. He'll be listing all 26 players that are going to be joining him in the Americas as we once again do what we've done. Started in '98. We carry on with that, but this time with the hopes of going a little bit further. And we're also going to be calling and asking for the Honorable President, His Excellency, to come on and assist us in that regard.
All right, we'll see you back after the break. All of us, all in Gaufela. 26 players revealed after this.
That's why Gary.
Everything can wait. Experience all 104 matches live on your World of Champions. South Africa in their first clash will face off against Mexico. Czechia up against South Africa. Of course, South Africa first time meeting the Czech Republic, and then they face off against South Korea. All grueling encounters, but there's one thing about this Bafana Bafana team. They can come to the field and of course showcase what they are all about. A lot is expected from them, but again, it's all up to the 26 players that will be announced in just a moment.
South Africa and the FIFA World Cup. A tale as romantic as they come. But for all the romance and all the history, USA, Mexico and Canada 2026 is Bafana Bafana's first World Cup appearance since that magical month 16 years ago.
A dream came true, even if he's not here tonight. But the spirit of Mandela is in Soccer City.
Like in 2010, Bafana kicked things off against Mexico, and the nation will be banking on leaving another indelible mark on the tournament.
It's on here now, the goalkeeper's beaten, and South Africa have their first goal! Sipiwe Shabalala, on the day he wins his 50th cap!
Bafana's qualification was defined by brilliance and a fair share of controversy, with players' suspensions and dock points threatening to derail their campaign. However, with a squad brimming with talent, Hugo Broos delivered and Bafana qualified for the World Cup for the first time since 2002.
Still available into the... Oh, no, he's saved it home! And he initially made a hash of it.
Drawn in a group featuring co-hosts Mexico, the Korea Republic and the returning Czechia, Bafana have plenty to prove. They were the first hosts to be knocked out in the first round and have only won 2 games at the World Cup in 3 appearances. Despite Bafana's World Cup record, this is a team who thrive with their backs to the wall. And while they might be an unknown entity to their fellow group contenders, there's a settled feel to their squad, who are made up largely of domestically based players. Bafana kick off the World Cup against co-hosts Mexico before tackling Czechia on June the 18th, and then rounding things out against Korea on June the 25th. Is this the year Bafana make the biggest impression on the grandest stage?
Well, the time is now. The different nations have been able to announce their squad, and now we are waiting for South Africa to, of course, give us the final 26 players that will go out there and, of course, to represent the country. Opening fixtures, and, of course, you can enjoy all of them live on your World of Champions. The United States, of course, one of the co-hosts in terms of this particular World Cup, they will be facing off up against Paraguay, and then you have Haiti up against Scotland. So it is fixtures galore on your World of Champions. This is the global spectacle that everyone has been waiting for. And of course, we head back to the nation's capital to hear more about the announcement.
We are the official broadcaster of the FIFA World Cup. SABC Sport and the SABC will be with you alongside the journey.
And of course, not forgetting the SABC radio stations, bringing you every single game in your language of choice. And we actually get it started off for this Friday when we see Bafana Bafana in that send-off game against Nicaragua. That one will also be live on the SABC. But ladies and gentlemen, we've kept you in anticipation for long enough. The moment that we've all been waiting for, Africa Dzonga. Sosvita Gombela Kore, the Honorable President of South Africa, President Cyril Ramaphosa, please step up onto the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, if we can ask you to stand as our first citizen makes his way to the stage.
Moments from now, they'll be walking through that door, and of course, announced by the coach Hugo Broos, 26 of the players that will be representing you and I, South Africa, the African continent, going to the World Cup. Coach Hugo Broos will do the announcement, and of course, the acknowledgement of the players by His Excellency, the President, Cyril Ramaphosa.
Ladies and gentlemen, you may have a seat. And the moment we've all been waiting for, Coach Hugo Broos, we're handing over to you to reveal the 26 players that will be going to the 2026 FIFA World Cup to represent South Africa.
President, I'm very excited. I think you also.
Yes.
I know the names.
You know,
I know them.
Names. I don't know them.
I will tell you.
I'm in anticipation.
Okay. These are the names of the 26 players who will go to the World Cup 2026 in Mexico, USA, and Canada. Ronwen Williams.
Ronwen Williams. Hayden is his middle name, born on the 21st of January 1992, captain of this team and a recent winner at the Champions League in Morocco. He has been named and will be coming in to, of course, see Coach Hugo Broos, shake the hand and be welcomed by the president. Ronwen Williams leads through discipline, professionalism, and consistency rather than theatrics. Coaches frequently praise him for his work ethic and ability to organize. Williams is widely respected for breaking barriers as a goalkeeper. He's from Port Elizabeth, Quebec, inspiring many South Africans, where he now even has a huge charity drive.
Thank you for this.
Wonderful. You're doing a good job.
Oh,
I know.
Thank you.
Ricardo Goss.
Developed through the Bidvest Witse system, featured in top-flight South African football consistently, Ricardo Goss is a technically gifted South African goalkeeper known for his calmness, positioning and reliability between the posts. He developed a reputation as one of the country's promising modern goalkeepers during his time at Bidvest Witse before moving to Mamelodi Sundowns.
Sifo Chain.
Sipho Chain, Orlando Pirates, a goalkeeper born on the 14th of December 1996, a young man who took the goalkeeper of the season in the Betway Premiership last season and has dominated his position in Orlando Pirates, moving now into the Bafana Bafana squad, where he has made a number of appearances under coach Hugo Broos and where he officially got his first cap.
Those were the goalkeepers, now defenders. Kuliso Mudau. There's our goalkeepers. Now we are the defenders.
Known as Sailor Kuliso Mudau, born on the 26th of April in 1995, also a winner of the Champions League in Morocco just this past weekend. He is going to be representing Bafana Bafana at the World Cup. His journey from lower profile clubs to becoming a regular for both Sundowns and Bafana Bafana are frequently cited as an example of perseverance and South African football development. Sailor Mudau, easily regarded as one of the best right backs in the world, or certainly in Africa.
Nkosinathi Sibisi, born on the 22nd of September 1995, has earned more senior caps for South Africa's national soccer team and has become part of the national team's experienced defensive pool. Sibisi established himself in the PSL through consistent performances at Golden Arrows, where his composure and leadership qualities stood out. His performances eventually earned him a move to Orlando Pirates, where they've just lifted a treble.
Ime Ocon.
Ntwanelaga Nklela, 2004, 20th of February is when he graced this world. The centre-back that plays for Hannover 96 in Germany. Ime Ocon is going to be going with Bafana Bafana to the World Cup. Ime Ocon, of course, made a big splash out of SuperSport United before moving on. Many said this is the future of South African football, and he's proved exactly that.
Kulumani and Damane.
Kulumane Ndamane, a young man born on the 14th of October in 2003, plays out in the centre-back position. Recently made a move from TS Galaxy, joining Mamelodi Sundowns, a club recently named as the Kings of the African continent. A young man that has also started to cement himself in the Bafana Bafana national team.
Aubrey Modiba.
Mwape Aubrey Modiba, a South African player born on the 22nd of July in 1995, plays as a left back, a wing back, a midfielder, currently plays his football at Mamelodi Sundowns. Aubrey has earned more than 35 senior caps for South African national soccer team and has become one of the national's most versatile players in recent years.
Samukelo Kabini.
Samugelo Kabini, one of the most promising young defenders to emerge from South African football in recent years. A modern left-sided defender with composure, athleticism and tactical intelligence. Kabini has rapidly risen from development football to European competition and the senior South African national team.
Tabang Matuludi.
Tabang Matuludi, 14th of January 1999, a right-back defender who's out at Polokwane City. He is known as the next big thing, many seeing great hope in this young man.
Olwetu Makanya.
Olwethu Mpilwentle Makhanya rose to the youth structures of Stellenbosch FC, where he quickly became one of the club's standout academy graduates. He made his senior breakthrough during the 2022-23 season and impressed with his calmness on the ball and ability to read the game. Despite his young age, he regularly played against experienced PSL forwards and looked comfortable in pressure.
Kamogelo Sebelebele.
Known as Mike Kamuhelo Sebelebele, Eyasethembisa Mambisa plays in as a winger and a right back. Developed through the TS Galaxy Academy system, where his technical ability and explosive quick stood out. Unlike many white players, he is pure flair and great to watch. The Orlando Pirates player will be going to the World Cup.
Bradley Cross.
Regarded as one of the more modern fullbacks in South African football, Cross is known for his composure on the ball, tactical intelligence and ability to contribute both defensively and in build-up play. Umdlalo Makhosi is going to the World Cup.
And last but not least, Mbekezeli Mbokazi.
Awuhluhluwe phakamume ngenyawo nangumbekezela umfana ufikile Mbokazi iTLP susa abantwana endleleni.
Okay, midfielders, Tebogo Mokoena.
Tebogo Mrembula Mokoena has earned more than 50 senior caps for South Africa's national soccer team and has become one of the team's most influential midfielders, emerging through the development structures of SuperSport United, where he quickly gained recognition for his maturity, passage range and leadership in the midfield.
Talente Mbata.
Njengegama lakhe, a talented central midfielder who plays his football out at Orlando Pirates. Boga, nomela angalishaya ngene USA.
Pehelo Sitole.
Pepelo Yaya Stole, primarily operating as a holding midfielder, but can also function in box-to-box roles depending on tactical needs. Ball-winning player, tactical awareness, and putting pressure always in the midfield. He's earned more than 10 senior caps for South Africa.
Jaden Adams.
He left Stellenbosch as a boy, but goes to the World Cup as a groot man. Ladies and gentlemen, Jaden Adams.
Last part, strikers, Oswin Apollis.
Asfanopolis rose through South African football with determination and consistent development rather than early hype. His breakthrough performances at Polokwane City established him as one of the PSL's most exciting attacking players.
Ikram Reiners.
From Cape Town, 19 December 1995, he saw the sun. Centre forward and winger. We're talking about Ikram Reyners will be going to the USA. Ken Park, stand up. Ken Park United is where he cut his teeth before joining the Santos FC youth structures. And he too goes to the World Cup as an African champ.
Sepang Moremi.
His move to Orlando Pirates marked an important step in his career as he has transitioned into higher level competitive football with greater tactical demands and exposure, and he is a player that has built his reputation through consistent performances in South African football.
Relebohile Mofokeng.
Listen, I'd love to call him by his nickname, but you know where we are. So, Yama 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, Relebohile Mofokeng is going to be there. I know Naomi. Listen, Chaba. Bao Sherile. Listen, Chaba. So Sherile Mfanaval.
Evidence Magopa.
Mwana says he rose through the development structures at Baroka FC before breaking into senior football in 2020. His pace, aerial ability and pressing intensity quickly made him one of the most promising young strikers in the PSL, and in 2022 he secured his move to the Buccaneers.
Temba Zwane.
Bathi Themba Zwane mshishishika phala bakhala ngaye eMorocco, bakhala ngaye eEgypt, bakhala ngaye yonke indawo eyasemambisa madoda. Nangu ushika phala, nangu makhekhe.
Lal Foster.
Lyle Brent Foster is regarded as one of South Africa's leading modern forwards and amongst the country's most successful exports to European football. He first gained attention as a teenager at Orlando Pirates before securing a move to AS Monaco FC in Europe.
And number 26, Tapelo Maseko.
Tapelo Maseko joins us as well, of course. A Mamelodi Sundowns player that is currently on loan will be part of this team. Tapelo Maseko is out at AEL Limassol on loan from Sundowns, a winger and a forward, a very tricky and technical player. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Just please hear it. A big round of applause for the players that sit on that stage. Acknowledged, called on by Coach Hugo Broos. And if I can please ask the coach as well as the president to stay on stage and ask the SAPS to please come in so we can do the flag handover.
Can we please ask the SAPS to join us on the stage for the handover of the flag?
They're on their way, will be coming through. The handover between Captain Ronwen Williams as well as His Excellency, the President of South Africa, will be happening on stage. And Ronwen Williams is going to be the man that will be joining the President as we wait for the SAPS to come in and hand over the flag.
Mr. President, on behalf of the team, thank you for the invitation, for the send-off, for the support. This is just a small token from us that you can hang in your office, and we'll come back and celebrate with you.
Thank you. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, we could do better than that. This is it. This is the squad, the national team that will be representing us. Thank you so much to Ronwen Williams as well as His Excellency. Thank you so much to every single. Do remember that when you see these 26 players that are here, there are players, of course, that have been left out of this, and we will be acknowledging them in just a few. But before we go, as it is protocol here in South Africa, Rarato Rentwentle Rekwalega Tapelo, and that prayer that binds us all is the national anthem.
United by hope, driven by pride. The 26-man squad has been selected to go to the FIFA World Cup and represent South Africa. Ronwen Williams given the South African flag to go and hoist very high when they get to their destination. All the games will be live on your World of Champions because everything can wait. The big announcement was made. We waited with a bated breath to find out about the 26 players that have been selected to go and represent South Africa. That is the team that has been trusted with the task of making sure that they make the country proud. When we come back, we dissect the players that have been chosen.
Get the KFC All-Star Box, dubbed All Original from only $77.90. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
There are many day ones and plus ones. Many moments together around it. Many moments that turn into a thing. So let's do it with the original. Because there's only one Gordon's. Shall we?
They came on our soil with purpose, belief. But this is our ground.
Taking on India.
We stood, we fought, and we answered. With every run, every wicket, and a statement. We are unbreakable.
Come on, Roland Garros. It's a love story.
What incredible tennis. That's brilliant. Simply phenomenal.
The never-ending pursuit to greatness, only on SuperSport.
Upgrade to premium for all the Roland Garros action, live on your World of Champions.
Don't miss the 2+1 cheapest free sports supplements weekend, 29 to 31 May. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
We see some incredible things on this job, eh? This lady, she drove into a tree, right? Middle of nowhere. And the car insurance did all the talking. Some accident alert or what?
There was this guy having a stroke. He pushed one button. One. Next thing, I'm already on my way.
Driving to a client meeting, a stone hits my windscreen. But then you go remember that she has car insurance with Momentum Insure.
Same J-Car insurance. Huh? Momentum Insure, keeping you safe on your journey to success. SMS quote to 47209 or speak to your financial advisor.
The players were beaming with joy and, of course, the prospect of playing at the FIFA World Cup. The 26 players have been named by coach Hugo Broos, still joined by Bongani Khumalo and Thomas Kwenaite. The squad is out. Bong, thoughts?
Well, you know, decisions have been made, and you know, those are the guys that obviously will be on the plane and have the responsibility of you know, putting up a performance that all South Africans can be proud of. And you know, congratulations to each and every one of them, fully deserved. You know, I think it's not the platform to having debates or who should be here, who shouldn't be there. That's the decisions that we made, and those are the players that we should be backing fully.
Players that will be looking forward to getting their first caps. You look at player like Olwetu Makhanya. Of course, he's based in the United States of America. So, of course, he might be able to just acclimatize a bit better than the others.
Yeah, absolutely, I agree with you. And I think not much is known about Olwetu Makhanya, but I think he had a breakout season last year. And there was also a video that went viral of him, you know, having a tussle with Lionel Messi. And he's a good boy. You know, he's earned his stripes. And as Bong says, you know, we are very proud of the boys. We congratulate them. And what a heavy mandate from the state president giving Tebogo the South African flag.
Ronwen Williams.
Ronwen Williams, I beg your pardon. And then telling him that go and represent the country. Heavy mandate.
Heavy mandate indeed. Also interesting seeing Bradley Cross in that 26-man squad named by Coach Hugo Broos. Oh, the World Cup is upon us. 15 days to go.
Program directors who have demonstrated that they are so able and capable of directing the proceedings. Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, Minister Gayton Mackenzie, ministers and deputy ministers who are also here present, the president of the South African Football Association, Dr. Danny Jordan, representatives of football organizations here present, the head coach, Mr. Hugo Broos, members of the national team and squad, members of the technical team, the sponsors who are also here present, members of the media who are doing so well tonight, broadcasting this very special occasion to the nation, and ladies and gentlemen, it does give me immense pleasure to welcome you all here tonight as we gather to celebrate a proud moment, an historic moment for South African football as a nation. Coach Hugo Broos has had a very difficult task of choosing 26 players amongst the 32 qualifying players that he needed to choose from. Or may I add that out of the 34, the other 2 were Minister Mackenzie and myself. So we go home disappointed that we were not chosen. I was hoping that I would be fielded as a striker, #1 striker to score the very first goal against Mexico next week. But tonight, we say with confidence and pride and excitement that our coach has chosen the best team that is going to represent our country. And in many, many words, we have to say Bafana Bafana is back. They are back with belief, back with a purpose, they are back with courage, and they are back where they belong amongst the giants of world football. For many years, the people of South Africa have longed for this moment. Through triumphs and disappointments, and through difficult qualifying campaigns and rebuilding seasons, South Africans never stopped believing in this team. We supported you as a team in our homes, in our communities, in our stadiums, and in our hearts. And today, that faith has been rekindled and rewarded by qualifying for the 2026 FIFA World Cup for the first time in more than 2 decades. You have already written your names into the proud sporting history of our country. But fellow South Africans are not satisfied with just qualifying alone. No, we do not want group stages. We do not want early exits. We do not want to hear the words eliminated or bowing out. We want to see you compete with courage, determination, and belief until the very end. And I can say that I have some proof that you will do well. As I shook your hands, I could feel a very firm handshake from each one of you. And I looked into your eyes, I could see real fiery determination. And that told me that you are going to go to Mexico. You're going to the FIFA World Cup in Mexico, United States and Canada to play your hearts out and to play the best soccer, the best football ever. We want to see you bring that trophy back home. We do, as South Africans, believe that that trophy belongs here, and we want to see you bring it back here. As I gave you the flag, Captain, I whispered to you that we're giving you this flag, the national symbol of our country that unites all of us, so that you can wrap that cup in the flag and bring it back home. Sport has always possessed a unique power to inspire and unite our people. Time and again, we have witnessed South Africans from every walk of life and every background, every language group and every community rally behind our athletes when they represent the nation on the global stage. Earlier, I met the coach of Banyana Banyana, my sister Desiree Ellis. She's here amongst us as well. And I said to her, as our golden girls go out to play, they too carry the hopes and the dreams and the ambitions of our nation. In those moments, we are reminded that we are one people with one flag and with one destiny when they go out to play. This tournament will be no different. In fact, I fully expect that each time Bafana Bafana progresses to the next round, I will be inundated with calls to declare a national public holiday. And I must confess, I may find those calls very, very persuasive. Now, this achievement has not come overnight. The road to the World Cup has required resilience, sacrifice, discipline, and long-term commitment by everyone. It has demanded investment in football development, in grassroots structures, in coaching, in clubs, our wonderful clubs that not only win here at home, like Orlando Pirates after a 22-year drought, and we congratulate them. And we also congratulate Sundowns, who have conquered football on the nation, and they stand and they sit at the top of the continent against the wishes of many nations who wanted to win, and they have won, and we congratulate them and we wish them well. And we therefore extend our gratitude to SAFA, to government, to our Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, to football clubs and all associations, and to our sponsors, to our coaches, to the technical teams and everyone who has worked tirelessly over many years to rebuild and strengthen South African football. Their efforts have helped to restore hope to millions of South Africans. When you arrive in Mexico City, you will not be traveling alone. You will carry with you the hopes, the dreams, and the prayers of more than 62 million South Africans. Our people will be with you every step of the way. That I am sure about. You are not only footballers, you are ambassadors of our democracy, of our resilience, and of our national spirit. The diversity of this squad and the technical team reflects the true character of South Africa, a constitutional democracy founded on dignity, equality, non-racialism, and opportunity for all. You represent the very best of who we are as a people. As ambassadors of our nation, we know that you will do your very best to display the qualities that South Africans admire most. Discipline, and you have a coach who requires discipline at all times. You are armed with humility, professionalism, teamwork, respect, and sportsmanship. Because sport is about more than just scoring goals or winning matches. Sport reflects the values of a society. It teaches us perseverance in adversity, humility in victory, and courage in moments of pressure. And you will be under a lot of pressure when you get on that field and those fields in those faraway lands. History has now presented this generation of Bafana Bafana with a very rare, precious opportunity to rise again and to reclaim South Africa's place amongst the elite nations of world football. We ask you to do one thing: seize the moment. This is your moment, but we want you to know that this is also South Africa's moment. Play with freedom. Play with pride of a very proud nation. Play for one another, but play for South Africa and its people. And make this nation even prouder than it already is tonight. We wish you strength. We wish you focus and success as you depart for this tournament. And let me say this clearly: I will be there when you lift the trophy on the 19th of July. And yes, I will gladly declare it a public holiday. So South Africans, you can be sure there is another unexpected public holiday on the way when they bring the cup back. May you have courage in your hearts and steel in your resolve and thunder in your boots. Go and make South Africa proud once again. And I thank you and I wish you the very best. And thank you all for being here to wish them the best of luck. Thank you.
Go and make South Africa proud. The words by the South African President Cyril Ramaphosa, still joined by Bongani Khumalo and Thomas Kwenaite. You understand the sense of positivity that is just flowing in the nation's capital. This is a team that, against all odds, rose in terms of the performances that they put in. Everyone has faith in this particular team, Bongs.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, they certainly, under Hugo Broos reignited, the passion and interest back into Bafana Bafana. I think that's important to note. Obviously, that would have started with the run, in the AFCON. Most people were very surprised by that. We had a wonderful core of players and, yes, I will say it, Sundowns players would have been exposed to a higher level of football, help reignite all of that passion, all that interest. And that has obviously filtered on to other clubs, to challenge other clubs to get to that level. And that's why now we see such a beautiful mix of players. Certainly when you look at the players that are based in South Africa, there's always going to be an integration with guys that are in Europe. They are still South African. That's very, very important to note. So when you look at all those things coming together and the cherry on top, making it all the way to the World Cup, it truly is a wonderful, wonderful achievement.
And it's a great combination as well, TK, when you look at the youth coming through, Rele Mofokeng, and the experience as well, Tembazwane.
Absolutely. Not only Rele, but you also have Mbokazi. For me, Mbokazi is one of those once-in-a-lifetime kind of talent that comes through. I mean, at only 20 years, he's going to the World Cup. Relay is about 23 years old, and I think the future is very bright. And I can safely say with pride that this is our own golden generation. I mean, the way they've come through during the last couple of years, when we appeared to have almost lost confidence in Bafana Bafana, they came through. And one thing they need to know is that we've invested a lot of emotions in them. And so we'll be standing up, even up at 2 a.m. in the morning to watch them, because we, you know, we are one with them. And I think the recent results have made us feel proud. They've also made us, you know, feel confident that they can do it. Maybe it's the first time in the 4th attempt for them to get out of the group stage.
Stages. Yeah, certainly. And great seeing players that came through the DSTV Diski Challenge, the likes of Sipho Chaine, Rele Mofokeng, Teboho Mokoena as well. We head back to the nation's capital to hear from the South African Football Association President, Dr. Denny Jordan.
Good evening, and first of all, Honorable President, Honorable Minister of Sport, Deputy Minister, all other ministers, Chair of the Sport Portfolio Committee in Parliament, the Premier of Gauteng, the MEC of Gauteng, all the government ministers, thank you very much for welcoming us in your house. They asked me, but where is the President's house? I said, no, the President didn't invite us to his house. He invited us to the guest house. So maybe he will show us where his house is. Extending a vote of thanks or word of gratitude are always both a pleasure and an honor, and tonight is no different. A World Cup participation needs an incredible amount of support for which we are grateful. Support from our supporters, and many of them are not here. Support from our commercial partners, and many of them are here. We had a wonderful morning and a good breakfast with Standard Bank, who joined us here tonight, with Adidas, who made our jersey to be listed as one of the most outstanding kit for the national teams going into the World Cup. Mr. President, you must know that the Bafana kit ranks amongst the best kit in the world, particularly the green kit, Mr. President, not the yellow one. The minister is playing for home kit. It's the away kit, Mr. Minister. You see, I am wrongly dressed, Mr. President, because I had my green shirt on. Then I got a message, no, government is saying it's not time for, and I see the CEO who gave me the message is now put in, no, CEO. I'm the odd one out now. They said, no, it is not a gathering of football. It's a formal gathering. The President is going to come in a bow tie, and now I see they will wonder who's the President now. But we are happy to be here, Mr. President. The supporters also, we must thank the SAFA staff. They work incredibly hard. The SAFA Executive Committee, the SAFA subcommittees, the technical committee, and so on. We want to thank them. But we also want to thank especially your Minister of Sport, Mr. President. When we played a 2-2 draw there in Orlando Stadium, he came into the dressing room. I know that Hugo Broos was not happy, because he told us what he thought of that performance, because there was a goal from halfway where the then goalkeeper was not here anymore. We won't mention his name. And he said, I expect better than this. The players were not happy. They said, no, but why are you bringing that man here? He's telling us a lot of nonsense. And we parted ways on that unhappy note. But when things turned and the team became successful, he was the first to acknowledge, no, you've turned things around, I'm happy and I'm supporting you. And he knows that if that support is unconditional and it's not compromised by who is in the room or who listens, and now it's on Facebook and Twitter, he is one of our biggest supporters. So I'd like to thank the Minister and the Deputy Minister of Sport, as well as the Parliamentary Committee on Sport. I also would like to thank you, Mr. President. We have come here at your invitation, and I'm sure that all of the players are inspired by your words of wisdom and your support. I didn't want to talk about when I first campaigned with the president in 1994, president. We campaigned together, me and now President Ramaphosa. And for some reason, the ANC asked us, you must go and address the women in the NG Kerk. Yeah, I think it was in Pretoria East. And they listened to the president, and then they asked, mag ons maar 'n paar vrae vra, they said. He said, yes. And they asked, Nelson Mandela, he said, he must be the president. Was Nelson Mandela ever a mayor of a city? He said, no. Was Nelson Mandela ever an MEC for sport? No. He said, you see, you bring a man from jail after 27 years, you bring him here, and you tell us this is your president. I can see what's going to happen in the country. And he said, no, Nelson Mandela is going to be the president. Did you see he walks? As he walks like a president. And when he talks like a president. And you didn't see him sleep, but when he sleeps like a president. He must be the president. And the one tells the other one, jy weet, wat hy sê is nogal waar. Ek het hom gekyk, he walks like a president. And so they voted for him. I want to say thank you very much. Thank you to all of you to come here. And we want to wish all of our players the very best. You will walk with our support. You walk with our prayer in our heart. And you know that what was in 2010 unfinished business, you'll now have to finish it in Mexico. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ke Bafana ya rona, Bafana kaofela. This is the world spectacle, and of course it is the FIFA World Cup for 2026, starting on the 11th of June, culminating on the 19th of July. And as we mentioned, everything can wait, because we will give you all the games live on your World of Champions, and of course with comprehensive build-up, giving you everything that you need to know ahead of a kickoff. So it's exciting times. The players are looking forward to what should be a fantastic tournament. Already, everyone is talking. Did your players or your favorite players, did they make it into the 26-man squad? That is the big question. But as far as we can go, Bongs, everyone is happy with the selection. It's a well-balanced team.
Yeah, I think so. I think, obviously, when you look at, in terms of age, it is generally a young squad. But it's good to see, players like Ocon who've now made it. I think what it does, for a young player, just to be involved. I mean, if you get minutes, even better. But to be involved, to understand the level, the highest level, be around the best players, I think what that does to you, from a young age, is really plant a seed that can really grow and force you, or rather encourage you to then push on in terms of where you take your career.
Brandon Peterson, not part of the team that will travel to the World Cup. Here are the selected goalkeepers: Ronan Williams, Ricardo Goss, Sipho Chain. It answers your question, TK.
It does perfectly. But as I said, you know, when I looked at the way the last 10 games of the season were, I thought Brendan had a shouting chance of getting in there, but take nothing away from Sipho or Ricardo Goss. I mean, they have also been outstanding for their respective clubs, and we are standing behind them. We support them, and we hope, you know, they represent us well.
We go then to the defenders that have been chosen. This is your area of expertise, Bongs. The likes of Tabang Matuluri, Kosinati, Sibisi, Ime, Okon.
Yeah, there's good size. You know, the players that you mentioned, you know, Ndamane, Okon, good size. Mbogazi is strong, but perhaps, you know, in terms of height, but he makes up for that in terms of the power that he has. You know, he really gets close up to people and makes things uncomfortable. I think that's always been the question mark in terms of how we deal with set pieces, but there's enough quality when it comes to the feet, playing out the back, and just 1v1 battles, athleticism. I think we have all of that within that list.
Kulumani, Ndamane, Bradley Cross.
Yeah, I think, you know, Bradley for me was quite a huge surprise. I didn't see it coming, you know, but he made it, and congratulations to him. And Ndamane, I think in Ndamane, there was a game, he had a shocker of a game, and I thought that would cost him a place in the national team. But when you look back at the CAF Champions League final against AS FAR in Morocco, I think he redeemed himself. I think that is where he showed the qualities of being a very, very good defender. And I'm sure Bongs must have been proud of him, watching him play in that game against AS FAR.
Yeah, it was brilliant, especially, you know, under a hostile environment. I think that's worth noting, because that's what the World Cup is. You know, it brings all different types of pressures. Mentally, you'll be so exhausted after a World Cup game because the quality is such at a level where generally the ball hardly goes out. So the ball's always in play. So you always need to be switched on to situations, moving, shuffling, and that can be very draining mentally. And obviously, one little slight slip, with the quality that you now exposed to, you get punished. So it's a really, really high level, and these players have a wonderful opportunity to show their stuff.
Very important to note Mbegezeli Mbokazi as well. Since his first call-up, he's been one of the consistent performers for coach Hugo Broos. As now we move on to the midfielders that have been selected. Teboho Mokoena, Jaden Adams, Spelo Sitelo, and Talente Mbata.
Yeah, look, I think this is the best of the best. For me, Teboho, we spoke about him. We saw what he did in Morocco over the weekend, and he has been doing it consistently over the years, whether in a national team jersey or in the, you know, for Mamelodi Sundowns, previously for SuperSport United. And as Pepelo Sitole, they call him Yaya. I think after the Cup of Nations in Ivory Coast, where he was very, very outstanding, brilliant, in a brilliant partnership with Teboho, he suffered an injury that I personally believe set him back a little bit, and I wasn't sure that he will make it to the World Cup, but he's fought his way back. Here he is going to the United States, Mexico, and Canada. And talent, I mean, talent, we see what he does at Orlando Pirates or when he's selected for the national team. And Jaden, I don't need to say much about Jaden.
Generational talent to that
Absolutely.
one.
Absolutely.
We focus on the strikers now. Oswin Apollos, Tepang Moremi, Evidence Makopa, Lyle Foster, Ikram Reyners. That is one that maybe a lot of people were not expecting, but of late, the performances have been right up there.
Yeah, they have been. I mean, look, he's still a top goal scorer within the league, and he scores a different variety of goals, outside the box, inside the box, left foot, right foot, with the head. So he has all the attributes that you need at this level, and most importantly, you know, the breakout pace. I think that's always something worth noting. If you're going to be under pressure, if you're going to be deep, you need someone to get you out, and you know that list has a little bit of everything. Mahopa, really good size, had a good experience in the AFCON, which will help him, put him in good state for what's to come. Should he play, get an opportunity within this World Cup. Obviously, Lyle Foster is exposed to a high level of football as well. And, you know, Themba Zwane is a brilliant footballer who just finds spaces, you know, where most players don't. So there's a really good balance in there, and it's just about the combinations on the day.
We've touched on the importance of the DSTV Disky Challenge with regards to the players coming in, but now we need to give plaudits to the domestic league, the PSL. When you look at the squad composition, you look at Orlando Pirates winning a treble, you look at the kings of the continent in Mamelodi Sundowns. The proof is there, the talent is right here.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm so happy that Hugo Broos has managed to build this squad around the core of Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates players. When you look at it, Pirates have just won the Betway Premiership Championship, and Mamelodi Sundowns won the CAF Champions League as well. And he took the core of the two teams to build his team. And you've got to give credit to the Betway Premier League. When you look at the number of players that are coming out of the Betway Premiership that can go and dominate in Africa and also go into the World Cup, we expect a little bit more from them. Your Oshwinopolis, Abo Relemo Fokeng, you know, Abo Evidence Makopa, and as I say, we are expecting a lot more from these boys.
Certainly, and talking about homegrown talents, it's the first time this season, since the 2017-2018 season, that the Player of the Month recipient has been all local players. It talks about the PSL and their dominance.
Yeah, it's really fantastic. And, you know, obviously when Pirates didn't qualify for the Champions League, CAF Champions League, it was a bit worrying knowing that we have a World Cup coming. We need players playing at, you know, under stress. And the last thing that you want is a league that finishes way too early as it has in previous years. So very, very encouraging that the stress has remained right up until the end. It's kept us as, you know, supporters and spectators on our toes, which is brilliant. But what it's done for our national team is basically put our players in a position of serious confidence, understanding pressures involved with high-level competition. And that, coming into a World Cup, brings about so much ease. So it really is the most perfect situation to have Pirates win the league and then Sundowns then win the CAF, have those two players then join hands and go to a World Cup. It's, you know, we couldn't have written a better fairy tale story for South African football.
Yeah, I think when you look at the fact that the core of this team is made up of players from that participate in the Betway Premier League, it also gave Helman Kelele and Hugo Broos the opportunity to go around the country, personally watch them week in, week out. You know, he didn't have to go overseas where maybe players, not that it's a bad thing to go to Europe, it's the best thing that could happen to your country, but Hugo Broos had a unique situation where he was able to go around the country to watch these players, and when he selected them, he knew that these are the kind of players that can effectively implement the system that I want to play against either Mexico, the Czech Republic, or South Korea. Because he can watch them every day, not on video, but personally live at every match over weekends.
The teams are represented domestically in that Bafana Bafana squad is Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns, Siwelele, Kaizer Chiefs, and Polokwane City. That is just focusing on the domestic league. And now we focus on the players that didn't make the cut, as we'll be looking at some of the names that, of course, will not be making the trip. First up, we spoke about it, and that is Brandon Peterson. You also look at Thabiso Munyane, but I think a lot of people will have question marks around Thapelo Morena.
Yeah, you could say so. You know, obviously he's a versatile player, a lot of experience, you know, and has had a lot of success in his career. But, you know, it becomes a very difficult conversation to have. You know, for those players, you know, well done to them to getting this far. And they've had wonderful seasons, and for them now it's just, you know, rest, recover, and prepare for another season where you're either defending a title or you're chasing one. So it really is unlucky, and it can be heartbreaking, these type of situations.
Patrick Tito Maswangani?
Yeah, Tito had a, you know, on and off kind of season, but he's the kind of player you can always rely on. He can come up, pop in with something magical, a moment of magic, and give you a goal. So he's somebody that can sniff out a goal out of nothing, you know. So, yeah, a little bit disappointed, but I think, you know, he he should, like the others, he should be proud to have made, you know, the squad, even though he didn't make the final squad, but to be mentioned in, you know, the prelim squad, I think it's an achievement on its own.
Bongs, the nerves are out of the way. Now it's just excitement. Please expand on how the final 26 players are feeling.
Well, you have a preparation game to get through, so I think that takes first priority. I mean, obviously the coach then decides, you know, do I field the players that start in the opening game, or, you know, do I mix things around? Is it experimental? I think it's probably the latter. And obviously the experience of playing in an opening game is very, very unique. You literally have, it's not just South Africans, it's the whole world, because it's the opening game. Everybody watches the opening ceremony. So it really does carry a special, special weight and expectation for both nations involved. Obviously, you know, I was very fortunate enough to have experienced the pressure as a home team, but now that's now transferred to the Mexican side and how they'll deal with that. So that, obviously us coming in as an away team, a little bit of an underdog situation. So start bright, you might catch them cold. I mean, we got a little bit lucky. We conceded the first few minutes, but it was offside. And then, you know, thereafter, you're able to sort of work your way into the game, the nerves settle. And by the time they settle, we were at a point where no damage was done. And that's where you want to get to. But we have that advantage now as South Africa. So it's important, start on the front foot, put them under pressure as the home side, and let's see what we get out of it.
What type of inspiration can they source from the team that played against Mexico in 2010, TK?
Spiwe Shabalala. I think when you look at the way he took that goal in the opening game, a game that was watched globally, you know, Spiwe maybe is the kind of player that can, you know, like Bongs was part of that team, but Spiwe, the way he took that goal, you know, I think maybe get a few minutes to talk to the players, you know, send a kind of send-off to them. Maybe also give Relay and the others a few tips what to do and how he managed to score that goal on that. And incidentally, the 11th of June, 20 years ago, is it? 16 years ago, on the very same day, we will be playing Mexico again. It's quite coincidental. That game ended in a draw, and maybe it's up to Bafana Bafana to take it. Bongs was playing about them, you know, coming at us and all that, you know, in the second half, really putting us under pressure because we were at home. It was just so much, such an emotive game. Maybe now this generation can turn the tables, you know, in their home game, put pressure on them, and then maybe they can do the impossible. Nothing is impossible in life.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Shaba's goal. You did something similar, right? Right, Bongs? CAF Champions League. Is this the time?
It's a time for everyone involved.
Yeah.
If you have an opportunity, take it, and we'll talk about you for many years to come.
Put your name in the history books. Let's look at the fixtures that you can look forward to watching only on your World of Champions. And of course, with a comprehensive build-up, we have all the games live and in the splendor of high definition. First game, this is the one that sets the tone. Mexico up against South Africa. That is the game where they have a massive point to prove.
I agree with you. And, you know, the Mexico game, when you remember 2010, also the build-up to that goal. Just watch the build-up to that goal. And this current team has the ability to break down opponents. They have a way of, they can implement a certain passing game that can break down even big teams. And who knows? But that Mexico game will set the tone for the rest of the tournament.
That's where they can get their momentum and then be able to go on and focus on other games. This was the reason that we all met up today, because of the squad announcement. 26 players chosen, carefully selected by Coach Hugo Broos. Bafana Bafana, re kaofela Bongs.
100%. And that's you know, it's with great pride, you know, these players get to experience this. You know, a World Cup is, you know, everyone has memories. You go to school, you know, you rush home to watch the games, try and catch as many games as you can. And now to be in a position to actually be involved and have all the country's eyes on you, it truly is a special position to be in.
If you could use one word, TK, to describe this Bafana Bafana squad, what would it be?
Magical.
Ooh.
Simply magical. You watch them, and especially, I know that Themba Zwane has slowed up a little bit, and you know, he's aging and all that, but you can see when he's there, he can find pockets of spaces, and he can just simply, you know, kind of inspire this team. But even if he's not there sitting on the bench, this particular team has a way of playing that inspires confidence when you watch them play. They play without fear, but they also play with flair. And that's the difference about this team.
Ushukela.
Banayo, bayayifaka nje.
Ile nto siyidingayo ku-World Cup.
Nje.
Well, today, big announcement made. 26 players selected to go and represent South Africa. Allow me to thank Bongani Khumalo, former Bafana Bafana international, and the sharpest mind when it comes to continental football, Thomas Kwenayite. We came, we saw, it is now all up to Bafana Bafana to go and conquer. Come the 11th of June 2026. Well, from myself, Lerato Pajo, the entire team on your World of Champions, it is goodbye. Enjoy the football on your World of Champions until we meet again.
Across every continent on the face of the globe, to every lover of the game, wherever you are, that is the World Cup.
Yo pensaba en tenerle la copa a mi mamá.
On a gagné cette Coupe du Monde. On est combien à pouvoir dire ça?
Wenn du den jetzt reinmachst, sind wir Weltmeister.
Hit by Hammers! Oh, what a goal! One of the greats!
What a save! And that is why Maradona's the greatest player in the world.
Le va a pegar Messi, va Messi!
Ne ho fatte molte, dico, ma quello ha ovviamente un sapore diverso.
Sip, save and pour extra at Checkers Liquor Shop with deals like Spear's Signature Collection Red Wine for $89.99, save 20 Rand, and Jameson Triple Distilled Irish Whiskey for $349.99, save 50 Rand. Raise a glass to